So this is my day 18 drawing for Inktober. I was excited to do this drawing because it was my first Steven Universe fan art, and I was delighted. I've pretty much been living under a rock because I just discovered this TV series. My door to Steven Universe was actually Rebecca Sugar. She worked on the show Adventure Time and wrote all of the songs sung by Marceline and voiced Marceline, and I absolutely adored her. So it led me to Steven Universe music, which I absolutely loved because everything Rebecca Sugar touches is gold. And I started watching the series and found love. Garnet was my favorite character from the beginning, but when I found out about Sapphire and Ruby, it made me love Garnet even more. I needed to do fan art. Fans of the show probably recognize Garnet making the heart symbol with her hand. It's a scene from the TV show. I wanted to use this scene to incorporate Sapphire and Ruby into the picture, so here they are, drawn in the heart of her hands. I like this idea because I felt it was really expressing that Garnet is the result of Sapphire and Ruby's love. And it's just so cute and innocent and beautiful to me. When I first heard of this, because I am bad and read spoilers sometimes, I was really turned off by it. I don't like the idea of soulmates and not being your own person. I'm very Western in that regard. But then when I watched Steven Universe, I could see it was more of a case of them loving each other and wanting to always be together, rather than them trying to give up their identity. I don't really see Ruby and Sapphire being together as them having to be. They don't need to be Garnet, but they want to, and there's something really sweet about that. After all the inking was said and done, I realized I made Ruby's arms way too long. It makes me tempted to draw a do-over at some point, because I'd also like to do a drawing where Sapphire's Cyclops eye is visible. I kept the lines of Garnet's body very black and white. While Garnet is obviously very important to Sapphire and Ruby, I wanted her to be more of a background piece. While Garnet is the result of Ruby and Sapphire's love, I wanted to keep her pushed to the background a bit more for this piece. That's why her body has no shading. She just is made up of lines. I wanted to try and draw attention to the center of her hands as much as possible, so the plan was to keep her body very plain aside from the lines, and then get a little more creative with Ruby and Sapphire in the center. Looking back, maybe I should have closed in on the heart area a bit more, because they are such a tiny part of the whole drawing, even though they're supposed to be the centerpiece. But they make up Garnet. We love Garnet. So what you gonna do, I guess? Looking back on this video, I really wish I'd used a brush pen to do all of the inking for Garnet's thick lines. Thick lines seem to look a lot nicer with one stroke with a brush pen, rather than using a plain pen to basically draw the thick line and fill it in. It just doesn't look as nice. Especially when you have the paper right in front of you and you can put your nose up to it and see how the ink looks. Well, I did have a bit of variety. I used thinner lines for Ruby and Sapphire, so they'd be different from Garnet. Then I added a bit of texture on Sapphire's dress using dots, and I can't stop cringing over Ruby's arm. I'm sorry, Ruby. I was digging how it was looking at this point, but it wasn't enough. I felt like I was just not being drawn to the center between the heart hands as much as I wanted to be, so I cheated and busted out a Copic marker. Yes, this was for Inktober, but this was also my first Steven Universe fan art. I had to make it work. And if you want to see more Steven Universe fan art, you could try checking out my Tumblr or my Instagram. As I keep watching the show, I'm sure I'm going to be trying a lot more. So I totally caved and busted out a Copic marker. Plus, hey, the red background also makes it even more clear that Garnet's hand is a heart, right? And this is the complete drawing. If you enjoyed this video, please like my video and subscribe to my channel.